right, here we go in 3, 2, 1.
Hey, what up? Good morning, afternoon, evening, you know the deal, wherever you are when we drop this, when you're listening. It's Josh Jacko. This is This Week in Sports. My producer on the ones and twos, Caleb Jacko. There's a lot to get into, so we'll get right to it. We're going to be talking Oilers, obviously. They're playing right now against Nashville. We'll be talking, there's a lot of stuff that's going on in the NHL, some serious stuff. Might touch on that a little bit. The Blue Jays have a lot of hardware that they're nominated for, and the Raptors are back into play, as well as there's a lot of stuff going on. But first and foremost, congratulations to the 2021 World Champion Atlanta Braves. Give me some of that love. Cheers to them.
All right, cheers, Atlanta Braves.
Yeah, well, taking out the assholes, right?
Cheating ass Astros.
Yeah. Exactly. So I think anybody outside of Houston was cheering for the Braves. They didn't want to see Houston take it. But, I mean, I hate to say it, but Houston keeps making it that deep. They are a good team, but they're not a championship team without their fucking trash cans. Jokes. Well, not even jokes. I mean, I'm serious about that. I don't even like the Astros. But
We're not joking.
We're not Astros. So Atlanta wins Game 6, 7-0.
Where were they playing?
They were playing in Houston, dude.
Yeah.
Bro, it was quite a game to watch because Jorge Soler, he hit a no doubter 3-run shot early in the game.
Right early, I heard.
Yeah. I know. You were hearing me going off. I'm like, holy shit! Dude, the ball was out of the park, like out of the stadium. It was so hard hit, and then like the crowd just went completely silent. I loved it. And then also, Swanson also hit a 2-run dinger, put it out of reach. At that point, I think it was like 5 or 6-0, and they were just coasting from there. Jorge Soler, he wins the MVP for the World Series, well deserved, because I think he had 3 dingers in the Fall Classic and 6 RBIs. He batted .300, had 6 hits, 3 of them were dingers. So he won the MVP. That was Atlanta's 4th title in their franchise history. The second since coming to Atlanta. They previously won in Milwaukee, and they had a team in Boston way back in the day. But that's the second that they won in Atlanta since I think it was '95. So congrats to them. They've had a really, really good team lately. They've won 4 consecutive division titles. They finally take it to the final series. They win it. They win the championship. So congrats to them. I mean, obviously, all my other teams were eliminated that I was cheering for, but I definitely didn't want the Astros to win. So I'm glad that the Braves took them down. Went to 6 games. So, I mean, the Astros kind of made it interesting. They brought it back to Houston for Game 6. And if there was a Game 7, they would have played it in Houston as well. But luckily it didn't get to Game 7 because you never know what happens in a Game 7, right? I mean, as much of a sports fan as I am, and as much as I love watching Game 7s, I don't want to face Houston in a Game 7 because even though they cheated when they won their title, they still are a good team. Hate to say it. So Jorge Soler with the MVP. Oh yeah, Jock Peterson, the dude with the pearl necklace, had everyone in Brave Stadium buying pearl necklaces and whatnot. He was a back-to-back World Series champion. Won it last year with the Dodgers. This year, won it with the Braves. They don't call him Jocktober for nothing. Dude killed it last year. Dude's killing it this year. He's if he does it next year, he'll be in Patrick Maroon fucking territory, 3 times in a row. But beyond all that, one of my favorite parts about Atlanta winning is their GM, Alex Santopoulos, former GM for the Blue Jays back in 2015, 2016, when we were making the playoffs. He assembled that crew of veterans to get us there, and he becomes the first Canadian GM in Major League history to win a title.
Nice.
So congrats to him. Canadian love all day, all day. Unfortunately, he tested positive for COVID, so he couldn't be there for the ceremony. But man, much love, especially since he came from Toronto. Like the Toronto Blue Jays organization went to Atlanta and did great things there, like he did here, and got him a title. So much love to them. In other baseball news, though, a lot of baseball news. As far as like the Blue Jays are concerned, there's a lot of hardware that Blue Jays players are nominated for, starting with the Silver Slugging Awards. There's 5 nominees on the Jays. 5 players that are nominated for the Silver Slugger. And for y'all that don't know what the Silver Slugger is, that's the most offensive player in that particular position. So every position has nominees, and each position has a winner for the Silver Slugger. Our 5 nominees. I can't even believe I'm saying this, that we have 5 Silver Slugger nominees on the same team, on our team, on the Toronto Blue Jays, and we didn't even make the playoffs? Shit, I'm over. The season's over. Let me not get into that. Let me not get too heated because of that. But shit, like the fact that we have 5 nominees for this award and we didn't make the playoffs says to me that the future is going to be phenomenal. And a lot of these nominees, I'm about to read them, they're young. Starting off with Marcus Simeon, obviously, putting up major numbers, record numbers for a second baseman, and like no one has done what he's done offensively in history. So he's probably a shoo-in to win it. Bo Bichette, my boy.
Bo Bichette.
Yeah. I didn't buy his jersey for nothing. He's another nominee. Teoscar Hernandez. And outfield, oh my goodness, he had a phenomenal year, and he was injured. He was like out for like the first like few weeks, I think, with COVID. So he, even if he gained up that like 2 or 3 weeks, who knows where he'd be. Lourdes Gurriel Jr., his brother, Gurriel, was playing for Houston, who just lost. But yeah, Lourdes, congrats to him for being a finalist for the Silver Slugger. And then, of course, everyone knows Vladimir Guerrero Jr. I mean, yeah. Phenomenal. Extra claps for the dude. Kid killed it this year. He's a finalist for the MVP too. I don't know, like in any other year he'd win it, but because Shohei Ohtani did what he did this year, it's tough, right? And also, Vlad plays for a Canadian team, so there's not as many eyes on it, and everyone's watching LA, right? Obviously, because it's one of the biggest cities on the continent. So people are aware of what Shohei does on a night in and night out basis. Sorry, and they're maybe not as aware of what Vlad does for the team, or what he did for the team this past year. But Vlad, another finalist for the Silver Slugger. I'd be surprised if he doesn't win it in his position. And then we also had 3 Gold Glove finalists this year, meaning the best defensive, the best defensive player in their particular position. 2 of them. I'm about to say this. I can't believe I'm saying this. Two of these players are also nominated for a Silver Slugger award. Like, what a team we got. What a team we got. Lourdes Gurriel, nominated for a Gold Glove. Marcus Simeon, also nominated for a Gold Glove at second base. And before I move on to the 3rd Gold Glove nominee, I also got to mention that Marcus Simeon actually did win an award for the Player Choice Awards. He won the Marvin Miller Man of the Year Award, as voted on by his peers, which is huge. It's given to the player whose on-field performance and contributions to his community inspire others to higher levels of achievement. And the fact that he was voted voted by his fellow peers for that award. Phenomenal. Mad respect to Marcus. And then the other Gold Glove nominee on our team is Jose Barrios, who we attained right before I went to Toronto. I went and seen his first start in a Blue Jays uniform when the Blue Jays got back from playing in the States and whatnot. Also, before we wrap up, like so many awards, like it's crazy. Like Robbie Ray already won. He might win a Cy Young. I honestly think he'll win the Cy Young this year, which is the best pitcher. But he also won at the Player Choice Awards the outstanding pitcher in the AL, and that's also voted on by the Players Choice Awards. So, congrats to all the Blue Jays, fucking killing it this year. Love it. I mean, nothing but Canadian love here. Anthopoulos wins the World Series, and what is it? Seven players either winning hardware or nominated for hardware. Yes, what a team! So I'm excited for next year. I heard it was only 100 days until pitchers and catchers report for spring training, which is crazy to say in late February. Yeah, right. So, I mean, I'm sure we'll have other baseball news in the off season to talk about, but all in all, good year for the Jays. We should have went further, but we are in a tough division. So the future looks so bright for our Canadian team. And congrats to the Atlanta Braves for taking out the Houston Astros. One more applause for them. So on to hockey news, though. We'll get into a little bit of oil. I'm actually currently watching the Oilers and Predators game. We're in the intermission at the moment to actually put a time stamp on this. Not that it matters. And I was going to start the Oilers discussion by talking about Mikko Koskinen, but that's me slamming my freaking pad down. In typical Mikko fashion, he gives up a goal right after we score a goal. 11 seconds after we score a goal against Nashville in the first period, he gives up a fucking goal. And it was, oh my God, there was so much of the net open. It was so frustrating. And I was about to praise him. I was about to be like, oh my God, this guy can actually use his glove to make a damn save. But I mean, I think it's tied right now, 1-1. So it's not like it's not like a Koski of old. Hopefully, I mean, watch, I'll say this now and he'll give up a shit. But as it stands right now, the Oilers are killing it. 7-1 on the season in their first 8 games. Unbelievable start. I think that's only happened 4 or 5 times in Oilers history. We never went 8-1 in our history. So if we do that tonight, that'll be setting a record. Also, last game against the Seattle Kraken, our first regular season game against the expansion franchise, we beat them. And Duncan Keith, one of our new Oilers this season, veteran, one of the longest serving NHL players, scored his first goal as an Oiler last game in his 1200th NHL game. So congrats to Keith, Duncan Keith, for doing such. And so I mean, all things are looking well now. And I'm just hoping Koski can keep making saves with his glove hand. I mean, before this game, he was 5-1. Like crazy stats for someone that a lot of fans didn't think could save pucks with his glove hand. He went 5-1 before tonight. 221 save percentage with a 933 goals. Opposite. 221 goals against average, 933 save percentage. So pretty good numbers, really good numbers actually to start the year for Koski, who had to come in for Mike Smith, who was supposed to be our number one, but he's out with injury right now. So hopefully we get to have him back soon. As it stands right now, we're 7-1. Hopefully we go, by the time people listen to this, we're 8-1. I mean, worst case scenario, we're 7-2. We lose the Preds, everyone blames it on Koski, like they always do. In other NHL news, obviously, there's been some shit going on with I don't know how else to put it, with the Chicago Blackhawks, and a report that came to light of sexual misconduct between, straight up sexual assault between a former coach and a former player. I'm sure everyone's heard about that. I'm not breaking news by saying that. But the NHLPA had a meeting, internal meeting with all the players and whatnot, a video conference, and a lot. I've seen that a lot of players are displeased and lost confidence in the Players Association. Rightfully so. They didn't do the right things for to Mr. Beach there, and I mean, even Jonathan Toews, the captain of the Chicago Blackhawks, said he could have done more. And Joe Quenneville, the coach of the Blackhawks at the time, he stepped down from the Florida Panthers coaching job after having a meeting with Gary Bettman. Scott Bowman also stepped down as GM duties, also GM duties from the U.S. Olympic team. I think he'd be really hard pressed to find another job in the National Hockey League after this. Basically, what happened? The Blackhawks didn't deal with any of it properly and in a timely manner and in a professional manner. So the Chicago was fined $2 million for the organization's inadequate internal procedures and insufficient and ultimate response to Beach's allegations. That's what Bettman said.
Yeah, like what we know is that, whether or not the extent of the allegations are true or not, we know that what we do know is that the administrations involved didn't adequately.
They didn't deal with it.
Yeah, they didn't deal with it.
They kind of swept it under the rug.
Yeah, in a timely manner.
Well, it's 10 years later, man.
Yeah,
it's 10 fucking years later.
Yeah.
It's...
So I don't know. I think we really acknowledge and congratulate the victims that they were able to come forward, and
yeah, it takes a lot of courage for sure.
Yeah.
That's not why when I watch sports, I try to get away from all this drama and all this shit. That's why I watch sports. But I had to touch on it on this episode because I wouldn't be doing.
And we live in a real world.
Exactly.
And those things happen.
These things happen.
Ultimately, sports are what gets away from it. So thank you for shining light on that. The people involved, wish you the best. But yeah, I mean, we're here to get away from it all, right? Like sports are a thing that helps us for sure.
Most definitely, it's a good getaway. I love it because it's you get away from the problems of everyday life for a few hours, cheer on your team, and it's you can't script a lot of the most of the shit that happens in sports because anything and everything can happen. But like you said, real life stuff does overlap with it. I mean, these are actual real human beings that have problems that play it and for our entertainment. So when someone like that, or when someone in the business has something like that happen to them, and is it gets swept under the rug by a professional organization like that, they deserve to be fined. They probably should have fined more. They got fined $2 million. The Blackhawks organization. But I think moving forward, I think the penalties and such will be more strict. Possibly, being draft picks and whatnot. Kind of like it's not the same thing, but when Houston got caught cheating, they lost draft picks. They got fined.
Right.
It actually affected their future, like building the team, kind of a thing. And I think I could see that happening in the future for stuff such as this when it happens. There's some other hockey news though. Sidney Crosby, he came back late. Then he tested positive for COVID.
Oh no.
That fucking sucks, man. Everyone loves Sid the Kid. Isn't even Sid the Kid anymore. The kid's like kid's older than me, man. Shit. So
Sid the middle age.
Sid the mid.
Yeah.
So he's unfortunately sidelined, which sucks because he started off the year with an injury. So
Sid's
hopefully
still with the Penguins.
yeah, he's still with the Penguins. Yeah, he's probably going to be. Woo!
Here we go, the boys, your Oilers.
Yeah. Fucking Yams. Oh no, that's who is that? Yeah, it is Yams.
Yamamoto.
Fucking right. Sorry guys, just so you guys know exactly when we're recording this, Yamamoto just scored. Gotta watch this replay here. Point to point, shot it in, rebound.
Right in there,
oh yes, we're facing the Nashville Predators right now. And before I forget, oh beauty, yeah, Yamamoto in the right spot, right time, just on the edge of the circle, gets the rebound, throws it top shelf to beat the Predators goalie, and actually, their former goalie, Peke Rinne, will be the first Predator ever to have his jersey retired. The Predators came in existence late '90s, and it took them almost 25 years to almost 30 years to have a jersey retired. I mean, Pekka Rinne, he does deserve it. I mean, he took him deep in the playoffs so many times. He was one of the best goalies like ever. So congrats to him, but go Oilers. In other news, we can talk about NBA now. The Raptors are back. I haven't been watching too much of it because I've been so busy, obviously watching the World Series, the playoffs in baseball, and obviously the Oilers starting the season. But surprisingly to me, and I'm sure to many others, they've started off the season 5-3. It's now 6-3 because they just beat the Wizards tonight, 109-100. So congrats to them. And well, I mean, it's still early, but 6-3 is a pretty good start for a team who I thought was going to be maybe 500 and maybe competing for a playoff spot. I mean, that could still happen. We don't have the team that we did a couple years ago when we won the championship, but we have a kid by the name of Scotty Barnes, rookie. He's tearing it up. I keep hearing his name. I keep seeing his name everywhere. And like, if this kid's actually as good as everyone says he is, man, like the Blue Jays, the future looks bright in Toronto at the Scotiabank Arena. Not for the Leafs. Don't get crazy now. For the Raptors. This is a no Leafs talk show. Jokes. I mean, if the Leafs make it past the first round, we'll have to talk about them. Just low blows after low blow. No one here to defend the Leafs.
If all we have left is the Leafs,
still not cheering for them.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't. unless it's like Las Vegas or something they're up against. I don't know.
Right. So thank God there's one team in Scotiabank Arena downtown that plays there that the rest of the country loves, because not too many people around the country outside of Toronto like the Leafs, obviously. So a lot of stuff has happened in this past week of sports. Just wanted to do catch up, obviously. Before we get I was looking at this week in sports history. There's some good, interesting things that happened on this particular day. But before we get into that, I got to tell you guys about Cage Exteriors. If you guys are looking for work done on your house, exterior work, siding, roof, eaves, troughs, you name it, these guys are pro. They're based out of Calgary, but they go everywhere. Cage Exteriors, it's spelled with a K, Kage, exteriors.com. You can find everything you need to know about them on their website. That's Cage Exteriors with a K, Kage Exteriors. They're also looking for, like, if you're looking for work, you should give them a call because they're good. They're great employers. It's my cousin Amy and her husband Greg that they run it, and they always have work. They're great people. They're amazing people. I love them with all my heart, and
Great family business.
great family business. Like I said, based out of Calgary, but they got work across, like, not just in the Calgary area, the surrounding area and whatnot. If you're looking for work, or if you're looking to get some work done on your house, you can go to the website, cageexteriors.com, or, like I said, if you're looking for work, just give Greg a call. Number is 403-971-2523. They're always looking for people to give them a hand. So, yeah, give them a shout. That's Greg. His number is 403-971-2523. That's Cage Exteriors with a K. Great business. Before we get into this week in sports as well, I was just going to say a couple notes on Atlanta, but, I mean, they won the championship. The year's over. Good enough. No, but this week in sports history, in 1948, on this here, November 3rd, 1948, the second NHL All-Star game took place in Chicago, and that's Gordie Howe's first of 23 All-Star appearances. We need one of those sounds on the board. Mind-blowing sound. First of 20. Guys are 23 time All-Star. Oh my goodness. Gordie Howe, one of the best ever. Unbelievable. Also on this day in sports history, or I guess it's this week in sports history, but on this particular day, in 1996, the late Kobe Bryant becomes the youngest player to make his NHL or his NBA debut at 18 years, 2 months, and 11 days.
Wow.
In a win 91-85 over the Minnesota Timberwolves at the Great Western Forum. Obviously had an incredible career, one of the best of all time.
Wow.
And I'll never forget you, Kobe. And before we wrap it up, one more note of this week in sports history on this November 3rd, 2003. The Hall of Fame for the NHL list was unveiled, and these players got inducted. Pat LaFontaine, Red Wings owner Mike Ilitch, Ottawa 67's coach Brian Curious. They're inducted in the Hockey Hall of Fame, but the most important player of that class in 2003, Grant Fuhr, former Oiler, four-time Stanley Cup champion with the Oil. He became the first black hockey player to be inducted into the Hockey Hall of Fame. So, man, mad respect. Grant Fuhr, he grew up in Spruce Grove, Alberta. And
wow.
yeah, I know, he's a hometown homie. And he was drafted 8th overall by the Oilers in 81, and obviously Hall of Fame career, and first black hockey player inducted into the Hall of Fame.
Amazing.
So yeah, congrats to Grant Fuhr, one of my favorites. Not that I was able to watch him play really at all, but seeing the highlights and just seeing the hardware he was able to bring home. Mad love. So this has been This Week in Sports. I had to come check it up on all y'all. I can't let too much sports happen before I take the mic again, because I can go on for hours and hours if I wait too long. But I appreciate you guys listening. I really do. Subscribe if you haven't. And I
Hit
will
that like button.
hit that like button. We'd appreciate it. So thanks to my producer, Caleb, as always. And hopefully by the time you hear this, the Oilers would have beat Nashville, and we are 8-1. Go Oil, go!